What's up guys, this is Anime Crossover. I'm back with a new episode of Naruto Water Flash Battery 2. If you did enjoy the video, give this video a like, and if you're new to my channel and like my content, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more crossover fictions with the twist. Now let's begin this new video.
California's San Francisco agent Fitz was going down the street in San Francisco, sporting a good suit, spectacles, and a rucksack. Fitz had two Gonzales operatives following him on instructions that he take them to Coulson. Fitz maintained his stroll until it became a run, at which point the two agents pursued him. Fitz ran as quickly as he could till he reached a parking garage and sprinted up the stairs to the top level. The agent that was pursuing him arrived at the top, but Fitz had already left. He had, in fact, gotten onto the disguised quinjet. Fitz, Hunter, Coulson, and Naruto stood outside the quinjet, watching the security cameras as the agents glanced about until one of them raced in their way. "That won't end well," Hunter observed as the agent collided into the side of the quinjet. Naruto chuckled. "Oh, that had to hurt." "Get us in the air," Coulson said, and Mike did. The two agents on the ground saw the quinjet take flight but couldn't intervene. "Mike?" Fitz was surprised to see him. "Good to see you again, Fitz." "New hardware." "Hey, how did you—" "Not now, Fitz," Coulson said as he drew him back and placed him in a chair before strapping him in. "Fitz, meet Naruto Namikaze, the superspeedster who's been assisting us. Naruto, meet Leopold Fitz, who's probably just as smart as you." Naruto shook his hand and said, "Nice to meet you." "Yeah, same." Fitz shook his hand before passing Coulson the toolbox, which triggered the holographic interface. "So, what's the game plan?" "We need to find Skye, but all we know is that she was kidnapped by the same powerful person who kidnapped Raina and Cal," Coulson said. Fitz said, "Do we have any leads?" "Yeah. I've been tracking our powered teleporter by the quantum energy field he leaves behind, but they're too spread out and sparse for me to get a clear location on where he originates from." Naruto activated his watch's holographic projector to show them the scans he's run in the locations where the energy signal has appeared, and they're all over the place. "My guess is that something is masking the signal of where he teleports back to after visiting these places. I need more information," and Coulson mentioned that Hydra might have it. "Hydra's new heads, Strucker and Lists. My sources say they're researching powered people. Apparently, they're even more obsessed than Whitehall," Coulson said. "If I can get access to their network, I can backtrace everything Hydra has. Not only will this give you a better look at their network, but if Coulson is correct and they're on the path of this teleporter, I can combine their research with mine and it will be able to help us find Skye," Naruto explained. "You have everything you could want on Hydra, and we can take them down and find your friend." "Two birds with one stone," Fitz said, "but how are you going to get this information?" "It's simple. Ward's going to give it to us," Coulson said. Mexico City, Tijuana Grant Ward, a SHIELD traitor and former Hydra member, and Kara or Agent 33, a brainwashed murderer for the organization before they both fled and went off the radar, were now hiding in Mexico. Kara was at a restaurant and was using a payphone to call her mother. "Thanks for the picture. It really helped clear some things up." "Wait, Mom, what men? When exactly did they call?" "Okay, if they call again, don't say a word. I've got to go. Call when I can." She disconnected up and fled out of the restaurant as Agent Coulson approached her with his pistol aimed at her stomach. "Agent 33, you're looking good," Coulson said. Kara turned around only to find Mike Peterson, trapping her. "We need to borrow your cell phone." She gave it up grudgingly and dialed the first number on it. "Why don't you drop by, sweetie? I'd love to catch up." Mike Peterson put Kara at a table to keep an eye on her as they waited for Ward. "Do you have any more of those masks lying around?" Kara said, "Afraid not. At least I have a winning personality," Mike pointed out. Kara stood up as she saw Ward come in, only to be stopped by Mike. "They didn't hurt you, did they?" Ward inquired as he approached. "No, I'm fine. You shouldn't have come," Kara said. Ward pointed out, "The fact that this guy hasn't killed me yet means they need me. Mike." "Ward, turn around," Mike said, and Ward complied. Mike utilized his bionic sight to search for weapons and discovered a plethora. "You already know what needs to happen." Ward placed his two handguns, two knives, and a garrote wire on the table. "All of it," Mike said, and Ward took the little lockpick from his wrist. Ward moved up to the table Coulson was seated at after he pointed to the left. Ward observed, "I'm flattered. Bringing the robot along just for a sit down with me. There's no need for false modesty. We both know you're that good, but this isn't about you. I'm after bigger fish, Strucker and lists, Coulson said. I can't help you because I'm no longer with Hydra, and even then, I only knew them by reputation. I've never met either, Ward said. Once again, false modesty. We both know you're resourceful. Bet you know a guy who knows a guy, Coulson said. Ward said, you know, the last time I suggested we work together, you called me a deluded son of a bitch. Oh, that's still true, but I'm giving you the opportunity to actually do something good to make up for all the bad. Get me inside Hydra, Coulson stated, but Ward wasn't having it. Well, I guess we'll go with option B. And what's that? Ward wondered as he felt a gust of wind at his side followed by a sharp punch in the neck. Son of a bitch. Naruto commented as he put a syringe into Ward's neck. Hope that hurt. And what happens next if you don't answer Coulson's questions will sting even more. Ward questioned Coulson. What the hell did you just do to me? Do you know how Skye said S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't have a truth serum? She was partially right. But now we do, though it's not so much a truth serum as a small solution of nanobots that are currently attaching to the prefrontal cortex of your brain, Coulson said. It's the part of your brain that's responsible for all executive behavior like deciding to tell a lie or the truth. You see, you can build up a tolerance to drugs and things like that, but you can't control what happens to your brain. Electrical impulses will stimulate the prefrontal cortex and make you tell the truth. If you lie, well, let's just say I did this with a demon and it looked like it hurt. Naruto explained as Ward looked at him with a death glare. Do you have a way for us to get close to Hydra? Coulson questioned Ward, who strained to hold it together and lie but couldn't since his head was physically on fire. I know someone who can get to lists, Ward said, gritting his teeth in an attempt to stop himself. Good, because you're going to tell us everything, Coulson remarked as he and Naruto exchanged fists. After a few hours, Coulson, Fitz, Hunter, Mike, and Naruto were back aboard the quinjet, on their way to meet with Dr. Lists. How did they do that? All part of the strategy they devised. That was bloody brilliant. I had faith, but I was still worried there, Hunter commented as the five of them sat around the quinjet on their way to see Dr. Lists. Are we certain we can trust the information Ward obtained from Bakshi? Well, he wasn't lying. Lists is going to meet with Bakshi, but we'll be there to take him down. A Hydra head gets taken down, I get the intel to find the teleporter, and it's a win-win situation, Naruto said. List sent over his location at the runway. Isolated and heavily guarded, so we'll have to land a little further away to avoid detection, but Naruto can easily get in there. He can take out the guards so that we can come in, Coulson continued. Once we have Lists, we can use him to get to Strucker, and from there, we'll find Skye. And, best of all, Hunter concluded, Ward and Bakshi are back in captivity. Coulson had Naruto drop them off at the US-Mexico border after they had gotten all they needed from Ward and Bakshi, and they were hauled back into custody. Feels good, doesn't it, Fitz? It does, sir. To be honest, sir, I was thinking we'd have to collaborate with Ward on this one, Fitz revealed to Coulson. That would have been a last-ditch effort on my part, Coulson said. Don't thank me. I'm happy to help, and taking down Nazi death cult members is always a good time, Naruto remarked. So, I have to ask, how did you get your powers? Fitz inquired. Naruto said, I was hit by a dark matter-infused lightning bolt after a particle accelerator explosion and put in a coma for 9 months. 9 months? That couldn't have been easy, Hunter said. It wasn't, but when I awoke, I discovered my powers and then spent a year on Earth training and putting bad guys away before I ended up traveling through the multiverse. I still can't believe it, and that multiverse is real. You're the walking scientific breakthrough of the century, Fitz said. Well, I'm here, so ask any and all questions you have, Naruto said, and Fitz did just that. They chatted about what Naruto had been through and his abilities until they came and it was time to take Lists down. Echidna Capital Management has its own runway. Echidna Capital Management was a front firm that Hydra utilized for its different endeavors, and one of its aircraft was now being used by Dr. Lists for travel and as a type of temporary mobile base while he roamed the United States. The aircraft was parked on a runway in preparation for the rendezvous with Sunil Bakshi, but it was not to be. A racing blur surged up from the horizon and into the aircraft. The guards and Hydra agents were all struck down one by one before they could even act or raise an alert. Dr. Lists was just sitting in his office on the aircraft when Naruto came behind him and struck his system with a lightning bolt. He stood in the center of the aircraft and saw that all of the Hydra operatives had been knocked unconscious and that the problem had been resolved. Naruto pushed his watch to activate the communicator, saying, "Easy. Coulson, they're all down, and I'm keeping an eye on lists. You're free to come in." "Roger that. We're on our way," Coulson said as Naruto approached one of the computers and connected his phone to its network. "Fitz, prepare for a massive file transfer. Hydra has a lot of information on this plane," Naruto said.
"Roger that. Files are downloading now, and I'm already running decryption algorithms on them." Naruto double-checked Dr. List's data and discovered that his and Coulson's hypothesis about the teleporter was correct. "Coulson, it appears that we were correct. Hydra is tracking the teleporter, as I was, and the quantum energy signature he left behind. They haven't been successful in identifying who it is, but they're tracking him.
Cross-reference their data with what you have. Maybe it'll help you track this guy down," Coulson advised, and Naruto did so as he heard the quinjet scream nearby. Naruto was comparing Hydra's data to his own, and they had recorded the same teleporting sites as he had, but it seemed that while they were following the teleporter, they were also tracking others in the area. "Fitz, check the files you have and see if there's anything new in Dr. Lists filed on recent subjects." Checking. Fitz combed through the data until he discovered what Naruto had requested. "Got it. Ethan Johnston, 26, and listed as a potential enhanced. Died of cardiogenic shock in the 37th hour of experimentation. He was picked up on the outskirts of Prague, right?" Yeah. Says here they got him while he was traveling." "Why?" Fitz pondered. "The area where Hydra captured him is near where the teleporter appeared," Naruto said as he heard footsteps and saw Coulson and Mike come in. "Do you think there could be a connection?" Coulson wondered where Naruto's mind was heading.
"They have him listed as a potential enhanced and he was picked up in the same vicinity the teleporter had shown up in, and you said he's shown up before with this Raina person and Skye's father who are people of interest or enhanced, and most recently Skye," Naruto suggested.
"Agreed. Fitz, make sure you log everything and leave no stone unturned," Coulson said as he saw Dr. Lists. "We have lists. Call the FBI and tell them where they can find him and his associates, along with all the evidence they require." When his system and Gideon picked up a sudden tachyon signature, Fitz answered, "Roger that. Sir, the teleporter has reappeared."
"In Milwaukee, and this is the second time in a few hours." "Hang on." Naruto dug into adjacent satellite feeds, then street camera video, to attempt to figure out what was going on. "I'm tapping into nearby camera footage to see if we can see anything, and I'm mirroring it here on the big screen." The video from the cameras displayed on the displays inside the aircraft, and Gideon searched for anything noteworthy, but there didn't seem to be anything unusual going on. So she started examining everyone using face recognition to see if she could find anything out of the usual. Coulson spotted someone at that point.
"Camera 6, stop and rewind 2 seconds, Coulson instructed, and Naruto did so, allowing Coulson to confirm what he observed. "It's Skye here, and she's with Cal." "What's her father up to? Does he have her as a hostage?" Hunter pondered. "It doesn't appear to be," Coulson remarked, and Naruto let the camera video play with Gideon, bringing up all pertinent camera feeds that offered them an aspect on Skye and her father. "It just looks like she's out for a walk. Perhaps the teleporter dropped her and her father off?" Naruto speculated. "Well, we found here, and we have no idea when the teleporter will return, so we don't have much time to waste," Coulson mused. Very quickly, Naruto responded, "All right, head there now, and we'll be right behind you. Call me when you get there, and I'll talk her down, but don't irritate her father or make things worse, because we don't know what's going on," Coulson advised. "Got it," Naruto said as he ran out of the aircraft and to Wisconsin, followed by Coulson and the others. Milwaukee is a city in Wisconsin. Naruto came to a halt in front of an office building.
Skye and her father had gone in and hadn't come out, according to the video Gideon was able to trace, so he stepped in to locate her. He took Coulson's advice and determined to remain cool and avoid doing anything that would make Skye or her father uneasy. If Coulson's claims about him are genuine, he didn't need to escalate things. He was walking up 2 flights of stairs in a run-down office building in desperate need of repair when he saw a shadow coming from the entrance. He saw someone come into view and raise his hand, which started to flash with electricity. Naruto had to protect himself since his hand was aiming directly at him, so he grabbed the guy's wrist and swept his legs so he struck the floor face first. He climbed onto the man's back, pulled his wrist behind his back, and ignited one of his repulsors directed towards the back of his skull.
"Easy, Sparky," It's probably a good idea if you calm down, Naruto said. How in the hell did you do that? The guy inquired. What exactly are you doing here? When Naruto heard footsteps and saw Skye and her father walk, he inquired, which one do you want me to answer first? Lincoln, who are you? Skye's father inquired. Skye, stay back. Lincoln cautioned. Skye, finally. Coulson's been looking for you. 1 second. Naruto activated the communicator by tapping his watch. Coulson, you're on speaker. I've found Skye. Skye. Skye, are you there? Coulson, is that you? Skye inquired.
It's me. I'm glad you're okay and Naruto found you, Coulson replied as Naruto fake saluted Skye. Don't worry, he's one of the good guys. He's been helping me find you. Don't move, we're on our way.
Is Shield coming? Skye inquired. Naruto said, more of just Coulson, Hunter, Fitz, and Mike Peterson. I don't know the whole story, but apparently things got pretty complicated. Very complicated, but we're coming, and everything will be fine, I promise. Naruto will look out for you until we arrive, and you can trust him, Coulson said. I'll explain more once I get there. Roger that. We'll be waiting. Naruto touched his watch and glanced at Skye. I apologize for the strange introduction. Naruto Namikaze, it's a pleasure to meet you. You, too. Can you get off him? Skye said, pointing to Lincoln, whom Naruto was still on top of. Oh, right, sorry, Naruto said as he stood up and pulled him to his feet. I apologize for that, but you attempted to attack me, so I acted in self-defense. As Skye approached, Lincoln touched his wrist and said, it's fine. Lincoln, what exactly are you doing here? Jang dispatched me to ensure that everything was in order, Lincoln said. Why wouldn't everything be cool? Skye's father wondered as he stabbed a file cabinet with his knife. What's going on here? Wait a minute, do you think Daisy is safe with me? I didn't say that. Just relax, Lincoln told him. Don't be patronizing. Who do you think you are? I'm her father.
Skye begged, Cal, please let me explain. No, oh, what a fool I've been. I see what's going on. You were going to dump me here like yesterday's trash. You don't want to spend time with me. This isn't Daddy's day out. This is goodbye, Cal grumbled. It's not forever. It's, Skye, don't. Lincoln stopped her from coming too near. Her name is Daisy, Cal said, shoving Lincoln into a wall and then a file cabinet. As Cal's rage started to boil over, Skye and Naruto raced over to check on him. After everything I went through for Jang and our family, years of searching, pain, and rejection. Lincoln's hands started to flame as he said, Cal, I'm warning you. Oh, you're warning me? Cal said before turning to face Naruto. And you, Shield's little pet dog, do you think I'll let you take my daughter as well? Honestly, I have no idea what's going on other than the fact that you could benefit from a chill pill, a massage, or a trip to a spa, Naruto said. However, as Lincoln said, calm down before you injure yourself. The only one I want to hurt is you. Cal attacked, but Naruto just sidestepped his assault, pushed him against the wall, and vibrated his palm to administer an electric shock to the back of the skull, knocking him unconscious. Like I said, a chill pill, Naruto said as he scooped him up and put him against the wall. He's just unconscious. With how his behavior was going, don't you think it was kind of necessary? Naruto pointed out, and everyone agreed. Who are you, and how did you do that? Lincoln inquired. Skye said, are you an inhuman like us? Inhuman? What kind of name is that? No, I'm a metahuman, and I'm not exactly from this earth. Naruto demonstrated by vibrating his palm at super speed. It's a long story, so maybe we can talk about it and I'll figure out what the hell is going on. After a few hours, SHIELD agents Bobby Morse and Alfonso Mack Mackenzie stepped inside the old office building together, seeking for any trace of Skye after tracking her down after she made the phone call. When Bobby observed some scuff marks in the hall, Mack said, place looks empty. Signs of a fight, but it had to happen hours ago, and whoever was here cleared out, Bobby speculated. Not quite, they heard from an office, so they went in and found Coulson seated at a desk, toying with a hula girl bobble figure. Hunter, who was drinking from a flask, Fitz, who was playing cards with Skye, and Mike Peterson, who was resting against the wall with Skye's father in handcuffs, sat next to him. I figured you two would have been here hours ago. It's amazing they found us with their heads up their asses, Hunter said as Coulson stood up. Take me to Gonzales. It's time for him and I to talk about who's really doing SHIELD's job because it appears that I'm the only one, Coulson said.
After returning to the base, Coulson met with Gonzales in his office, where the other high-ranking members of his SHIELD faction, including Agent May, had gathered. "So, I'm glad you made yourself comfortable and used SHIELD resources on an internal manhunt instead of actually doing our job," Coulson said. "And that's what you were doing?" questioned Agent Weaver.
It was. While you were so focused on distrust and assuming the worst of me, I and the agents who believe in me were actually going after the real bad guys. Hydra, Coulson said.
"Not everyone who was assisting you was an agent," Gonzales said.
"That's where you and I differ, Agent Gonzales, because I'm willing to trust an enhanced person with powers and give him the benefit of the doubt rather than assume the worst. He didn't have to help me at all. He doesn't even belong on this planet." Coulson pulled out his phone, which Agent Weaver took and began looking through it, as well as at the multiversal equation and data.
Weaver said, "Surely you can't be serious, it's true."
He's a hero who could have just left me alone but decided to help because he is a good person. Someone who trusted me and I trusted him. And with his help, we captured Grant Ward, Sunil Bakshi, Dr. Lists, and dozens of other Hydra operatives and gained access to their entire network. Here you go, unlocked and all yours. Go nuts. At least until Fury shows up and demands it back, Coulson said, eliciting real astonishment from Gonzales. Oops, spoiler alert. When Coulson's phone rang, he looked to see who it was. "Oh, hey," Coulson said, demonstrating to Gonzales that he had no clue what was going on, and that while he was playing checkers, Coulson was playing chess. And instead of focusing on a witch hunt, he was really performing their job. "I'm going to have to take this."
Coulson exited and went into a separate area where he could video chat privately with Maria Hill. "I'm sure Gonzales was disappointed when you told him he wasn't invited to this chat."
"Yeah, I wasn't too happy when he blew a hole in my base and kicked me out, but we all live with disappointment, and we have bigger problems right now."
"So, you found it?" Hill inquired, as Coulson produced one of the files obtained when they grabbed lists. "I'm guessing Hydra doesn't know Loki's scepter was the weapon that killed me, but I'm sure they know it has mind control capabilities," Coulson said. "And in their hands, it's catastrophic. Could you please tell me where it is?" Hill inquired. "That's simple, thanks to Dr. List's detailed files. Sokovia with Baron von Strucker. I sent over everything we have on Strucker's location," Coulson said. "Last but not least, is the Theta Protocol ready? It's time to call in the Avengers, but I think I know someone who can help them. He's helped me more than enough," Coulson offered. "If he's as good as you say he is, then extra help is always appreciated," Hill responded. "Let's see how Impulse does with the Avengers." XXXXX line break Sokovia, Hydra's secret base. The information Coulson obtained with Naruto's assistance provided them with information on where Baron von Strucker is and where the Chitauri scepter is, which Hill provided to the Avengers. It gave them a new task and, after learning from Hill, a new ally. The Hydra base was notified when it saw the Avengers' quinjet approaching, resulting in a battle to the castle Strucker was utilizing for his activities. The Hydra army was outfitted with new plasma-based weaponry and even flying packs thanks to stolen artifacts from the Chitauri invasion, but even with the advanced weapons, the combat didn't alter much. Hydra fared poorly. Natasha Romanoff, as the Black Widow, was driving an armored vehicle through the snow, slamming into Hydra troops. Clint Barton, alias Hawkeye, was standing in the rear, shooting down Hydra soldiers with accuracy with his bow and arrows. Natasha maintained her eyes on the road that swiftly delivered a punch to her left, striking a Hydra soldier who was trying to sneak up on her with his flying pack. As the armored Avenger, Tony Stark aka Iron Man, swooped down and blasted several Hydra henchmen with his repulsor rays, she kicked him away.
When a Hydra vehicle came up beside them, Clint stabbed a Hydra soldier who attempted to grab him from behind before pushing him back.
The gunner pointed the plasma cannon at them, only to have Thor descend down and knock him off balance.
He swung his hammer Mjolnir into the air and soared to a watchtower, knocking off 3 guards before grabbing a 4th guard who flew past and smashing him to the ground.
When a motorbike went by and pushed some of the Hydra thugs back, he leapt from the watchtower and pulled off one of the metal legs, which he used as a weapon and knocked some of the Hydra goons back. Steve Rogers, our Captain America, was riding his motorcycle and pulling a Hydra soldier by the leg across the ground before dumping him into a group. As he drove off a leap, he flung his shield, which ricocheted about, striking numerous Hydra thugs before returning to him. As a Hydra tank came into view, he swerved around a curve, which is when Thor landed and pushed it into the air, where Iron Man destroyed it with his repulsor. The debris was subsequently captured by Bruce Banner, also known as the Hulk, who continued to smash through the army Hydra sent after him. All of the heroes gathered as they made their way closer to the Hydra fortress. Iron Man soared across the woodland, destroying Hydra thugs, bunkers, turret emplacements, and jeeps while avoiding castle gunfire. When he rebounded off an energy barrier, he was closing in on the top building. Shit. Captain America said, "Language. Jarvis, what's the view from upstairs?" The central building is protected by an energy shield, and Strucker's technology is far superior to any other Hydra base we've taken. Thor remarked as he dispatched more Hydra thugs, "Loki's scepter must be here. Strucker couldn't mount this defense without it, at long last." Black Widow threw a bomb into a vehicle before knocking out a Hydra goon with a flying elbow and tumbling to the ground, where she wrestled and crushed the necks of 2 more guys. "At long last is lasting a little long, boys," Romanoff observed as he shot a Hydra gunner out of his turret. Hawkeye took shelter behind a tree before drawing an explosive arrow and shooting it at a neighboring bunker, which detonated. "Yeah, I think we've lost the element of surprise." Iron Man swooped past and blasted more Hydra thugs before returning. "Wait a minute, no one else is going to deal with Cap just saying, 'Language?'" "I know," Cap responded, riding his motorbike to a vehicle. "It just sort of slipped out. Impulse, how are we doing?" A flash of white and crimson lightning raced through the forest quicker than the eye could see, annihilating over 100 Hydra troops in a matter of seconds before slamming to a halt beside a tree and blasting with a bolt of lightning. Naruto was clad in his impulse suit and blasting 2 flying Hydra gangsters out of the sky with his repulsors. The perimeter is secure, and Hydra is making a defiant last stand, but that scepter is definitely here. Impulse dashed off and started killing Hydra one by one.
"I still can't believe this is real and we've got an actual dimension traveler here with us," Natasha said as she watched him dash through the woodland with speed and accuracy.
"And I can't believe he copied my repulsor tech, even if it's a little amateurish and could use some improvement," Tony said before dispatching the Iron Legion to deal with any civilian fatalities and keep them safe.
Clint went through the woods, hiding behind a tree near a bunker, before firing an explosive arrow, only to see a silver blur snag it in midair. Clint saw the bunker didn't explode, so he turned to shoot another arrow when he was thrown down. When he glanced up, he saw a silver-haired guy passing by, spinning the arrow between his fingers.
"You didn't see that coming." The mystery enhanced then bolted like a whirl as Clint attempted to shoot him, but he was far gone. The bunker took advantage of the brief attention by deploying a plasma cannon and firing a shot that grazed Clint's side. The racing blur continued through the trees, colliding with Cap, who managed to fall on his feet. Cap remarked, "We have an enhanced on the field." "Clint's been hit." Romanoff went over to protect him and treat his injuries. "Does anyone want to look after that bunker?" The Hulk just roared and barreled through it as if it were nothing. "Thank you." After taking down many more Hydra agents, Impulse saw a fast blur rushing up to Cap, who was battling some Hydra agents and telling Tony to hurry up and go inside the fortress. He rushed over and sprinted beside the blur, only to find a silver-haired guy racing very fast but not as fast as he was. The silver blur saw him and attempted to attack him as the two raced through the forest, but Naruto was quicker. He evaded a blow, kneed the guy in the belly, and slammed him into a tree. The guy pushed him away and attempted to punch and kick him, but Naruto was too quick for him to touch him before grabbing his arm and throwing him to the ground. He then heard a loud clang and watched Thor and Captain America team up to assault, which provided enough diversion for the silver blur to flee. "The enhanced speedster is gone. I'll get Clint back to the quinjet. Just get the scepter." Naruto dashed up to Clint and escorted him back to the quinjet. "And for the love of God, watch your language," Tony laughed. Steve murmured, "That's not going away anytime soon."
After escorting Clint to the quinjet and ensuring his safety, he assisted Thor in securing the perimeter and all Hydra troops, while Tony proceeded inside the castle to retrieve the scepter and Cap retrieved Baron Strucker. He had a short meeting with an upgraded lady, but he obtained Strucker and Tony obtained the scepter, so it was a win-win situation. Hill requested assistance from the United Nations in cleaning up and detaining Hydra detainees as the Avengers boarded the quinjet returning to New York. Naruto rode back with them and rested while sipping water and eating a sandwich.
Clint was being cared for, the scepter was safe, Tony was piloting the plane, and Dr. Banner was listening to music. When Cap and Thor approached, Naruto was sitting in his chair, contentedly munching on his sandwich. "Hey, sandwich?" suggested Naruto. "No, I'm fine. Thanks again for your assistance," Cap said. "I'm not sure how Hill found you, but we appreciate it. Facing Hydra is no easy task, but you handled yourself pretty well out there." "Indeed. You have a great grasp of your skills with a speed that would make many in Asgard jealous. How did you come by this dimension?" Thor inquired Naruto. "I'm just trying to find my way home. Multiversal travel isn't an exact science, and there's a lot of it, so I've been doing it for a while," he said. "How long have you been on this planet?" Steve inquired.
"Almost a week. Helped out some other people, including Hill, which is probably why she asked me to come help out on this mission. She knew I could handle myself," Naruto said, leaving out the information that he had assisted Coulson since Coulson didn't want them to know he was alive. "Helping people and getting some souvenirs before I try to make my way back home has kinda become a routine now."
"Well, here's hoping you figure out how to get home soon. Perhaps Tony can help," Steve said. "I appreciate it," he said. "Thor, report on the Hulk," Romanoff demanded. "The screams of his victims fill the gates of hell," Thor said, but it wasn't the correct response. Dr. Banner lowered his head into his hands as Natasha gave him a glare. "But not the screams of the dead, of course. No wounded screams. Just whimpering, a lot of complaining, and stories about sprained deltoids and gout." Naruto laughed as he joked, "Smooth. Hey, Banner," Tony said. "Dr. Cho is on her way in from Seoul. Is it all right if she sets up shop in your lab?" Bruce said, Yeah, she knows her way around." "Thank you. Tell her to get everything ready because Barton is going to need the full treatment," Tony stated to Jarvis. "Very good, sir. Jarvis, take the wheel," Tony said as he went up to Thor, Cap, and Naruto, who were staring at the Chitauri scepter. "Feels good, yeah. I mean, you've been after this thing since S.H.I.E.L.D. fell apart, and I've enjoyed our little raiding parties, but this concludes it," Thor said. "As soon as we figure out what else this has been used for, and I don't mean just weapons," Steve said. "While I was here, I did some digging into Hydra's files, and apparently his partner Dr. Lists has been working on human experimentation for a while, and I'm guessing that speedster was one of his successes," Naruto said. Thor inquired, "How fast was he?" "Fast, but he's not a speedster like me. The source of his powers and how he obtained them aren't the same as mine," Naruto said. "Is it okay with you if Banner and I go over the scepter before it goes back to Asgard?" Tony inquired, and Thor nodded. "Only a few days until the farewell party. Are you staying?" "Of course, a victory should be celebrated with revels," Thor remarked proudly. "Who doesn't like revels, Captain? Hopefully, this ends the Chitauri and Hydra, so, yes, revels," Steve said. "All right, kid, you're welcome to stay as well. We figured the least we could do in exchange for your assistance was a place to crash and a party to relax before you head home," Tony said. "And it'll give me a chance to see just how smart Hill claims you are." Naruto grinned as he said, "Sounds like fun. New York City's Avengers Tower." The Avengers Quinjet landed at Avengers Tower, a skyscraper with the Avengers emblem emblazoned on the side.
The Quinjet touched down on the landing pad, where Maria Hill and Dr. Cho awaited. Clint was transported to Dr. Banner's lab for treatment, where Dr. Cho and her medical team attended to him. Thor exited the Quinjet with the scepter, while Naruto exited with his bag, looking for a spot to rest. Hill stroked his shoulder before speaking with Cap about the two enhanced in Sokovia. Pietro Maximoff and Wanda. The first was a telekinetic telepath, while the second was a speedster. Naruto was astonished as he strolled through the numerous levels made aside for the Avengers. It provided him a lot of ideas if he ever decided to acquire a building like this. He strolled around and found the kitchen, where he grabbed some water before going upstairs to check on Barton. He watched Dr. Cho's cellular stimulation equipment at work on his wound. "Wow, that's impressive," Naruto exclaimed as he entered the room and examined the machine and what it was doing. Incredible cell regeneration using nanomolecular lasers to revitalize tissue and replace dead ones with artificial ones.
"And you are?" questioned Dr. Cho. "A helpful friend just passing through, Dr. Cho." "My name is Naruto, and this is very impressive," Naruto remarked to her. "Thank you," she said. "Easy there, Naruto. You two can get a room later." Natasha laughed as she watched the machine repair Clint's wound. "Are you sure he'll be okay? Pretending to need this guy brings the team together." There's no deterioration because the nanomolecular functionality is instantaneous. His cells have no idea they're bonding with simulacra, she informed her. She's making tissue, Dr. Banner said. If you brought him to my lab, the regeneration cradle could regenerate him in 20 minutes. Tony joked when he came with drinks for everyone. Oh, he's flatlining. Call it time? No, 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 I'm going to live forever and be made of plastic, Clint replied. You'll be made of you, Mr. Barton, and your girlfriend won't know the difference, Dr. Cho promised him. I don't have a girlfriend, Barton said. I can't fix that. This is the next best thing, Tony. Your clumsy metal suits are going to be left in the dust. That's exactly the plan, Helen, and I expect to see you at the party on Saturday, Tony said. Unlike you, I don't have much time for parties, she said. Will Thor be there? Tony and Bruce quickly departed to do some work, while Naruto continued his tour about the property before relaxing on the sofa and napping. He'd spend the next 3 days at Avengers Tower, hanging around, resting, and preparing for his expedition.
He utilized one of the spare laboratories to produce lots of additional high-calorie energy speedy bars, and with the shrink ray, he could carry more should he ever find himself in a position where food is scarce again. Naruto was working with Gideon on all the data they had retrieved from his multiversal trips on his 3rd day in Avengers Tower to find out the best route to go to his planet. There was, however, an issue with that.
Damn, are you sure about that, Gideon? Naruto questioned, gazing over the whiteboard figures.
I'm afraid so. I have the data from when you encountered the energy field, and I'm afraid that even at your current speed, nothing can penetrate the tachyon energy field surrounding Earth 1, Gideon said, displaying data and a graphic model. Based on all of the data they had, she reasoned and documented that the reason he kept being tossed about to different Earths when he drew near to Earth 1 had to do with how he and Ronnie ended there on Earth 2.
Is everything all right? He said as he heard and saw Steve and Natasha enter the lab. Yeah, I just ran into a problem with my trip back home, and it turns out it's a little more complicated than I first thought, Naruto said. How? Natasha inquired, and feel free to try to tone down the science. When I was knocked off my Earth, it was because my friends and I were closing a singularity over our city, and when we closed it, it knocked me and my friend onto another Earth, but that's not all it did. It also created a tachyon energy field around my home Earth, sort of like a dome that prevents multiversal travel there, Naruto explained. Gideon told me that I was almost home on one occasion, but the energy field surrounding my home Earth's unique vibrational field knocked me away. It's like someone installed an extra door on your front door that you don't have the key to. Is there any way to get around it? Steve inquired. Gideon believes there are cracks in the dome, essentially portals on my Earth to other Earths, so I can get home using one of those. I still need to do some more research, but that's my plan for the time being, Naruto said. Tony hasn't been particularly helpful the past 3 days. He and Dr. Banner were working on something the entire time, which I hope will be useful to you guys in the future. Perhaps. Anyway, we just wanted to check in on you and see how you were doing. Figured with you being on a strange Earth, it could seem isolating, Natasha added, and Naruto giggled. Did I say something funny? No, it's just. With the red hair and how you said that. You kind of remind me of my mother. Fierce, powerful, but compassionate, Naruto said. Natasha laughed. Ah, I knew you had a crush on me. And you think you're funny, too. I'm not laughing, Naruto said, and Steve grinned at the little exchange. Anyway, the party's going to start soon, so get cleaned up and ready, Steve said. Thank you, Naruto said as he set the marker down and proceeded to take a shower and change into the clothing given by Jarvis. The party was fun, but he didn't know anybody there, and how these folks got up at an Avengers Tower party is beyond him. It screamed security hazard, but this wasn't his world, so whatever. But he ate some nice food, drank a lot of Tony's booze, and had a fantastic time. Thor did invite him over so he could sample Asgardian booze with Steve. One of the older WW2 soldiers at the gathering was interested when he saw Thor pull out a particular flash. Oh, I've got to have some of that. Oh, no, 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 take a look at this. This was matured in barrels made from the wreckage of Grunhel's fleet for 1,000 years. It is not intended for mortal men. Thor admonished him as he poured a few drops into glasses for himself, Steve, and Naruto. Omaha Beach wasn't either, blonde. Stop attempting to frighten us. Another veteran spoke out, and Steve and Naruto just shrugged. Alright. Thor put a little in a few cups, which was a mistake since the normal humans who tasted it had to be taken out of the premises. Naruto and Steve were okay. Naruto had a brief buzz before his metabolism recovered. The celebration slowed down until it was only the Avengers, Naruto, Rhodey, and Dr. Cho. They got Chinese takeout and hung around goofing around, and eventually the issue of Thor's hammer came up in conversation, with Clint stating the weapon's worthiness was nothing more than a hoax. Naruto walked outside onto the balcony to get some fresh air and relax as he glanced back and saw the Avengers all attempting to hoist Thor's hammer but failing. Gideon informed Naruto as he was about to come in and test for himself. Naruto, I've detected a foreign AI system attempting to gain access to Avengers Tower. Gideon notified him. What? Naruto hurried back in, and his unexpected appearance was recognized. Hey, kid, it's your turn. Tony informed him. Guys, I think there's a problem. When a powerful high-pitched ringing swept through the building, Naruto said. They heard, worthy. As a tattered and shattered Iron Legion armor marched closer to them. No, how could you possibly be worthy? You're all murderers. Sorry, I was sleeping. Or maybe I was a dream. There was this awful noise, and I became entangled in strings. I must assassinate the other man. He was a kind man. You killed someone? Steve inquired. It wouldn't have been my first choice, but in the real world, we have to make difficult decisions.
Who was it that sent you? Thor inquired as the robot played back Tony's voice recording. I see a suit of armor all around the world. Ultron, according to Dr. Banner.
In flesh and blood. Alternatively, no, not yet. Not with this chrysalis, but I'm prepared. I have a mission. What is your mission? Romanoff inquired. Peace during our time. Ultron announced, and 3 Iron Legion suits flew out of the wall, but they were never able to attack.
Naruto charged forward, vibrating his fist, and smashed each and every one of the iron suits into bits in the twinkling of an eye. He hurried up the stairs after seeing one of the Iron Legion suits seize the scepter on the 2nd level, and then vibrated through the iron suit, causing it to shatter into pieces. Everyone stared as they saw a whoosh of lightning before all of the iron suits were shattered and Naruto arrived on the 2nd level. That was quite dramatic. They heard via the Iron Legion helmet, which was barely functional. So, you've got a new assistant. Interesting, but it makes no difference. He, like the rest of us, is dealing with the same issue. Humanity cannot be preserved unless it is permitted to develop. There is only one way to achieve peace. The Avengers' demise.
Naruto then accelerated ahead and used an arrow to stab the Ultron-infected robot. He might have just walked on its head, but instead he stabbed it with an arrow, and there was a reason for it. It wasn't just any arrow, but a special USB arrow from Hawkeye's armory onto which he had transferred something. Gideon, activate the Technovore virus and kill Ultron. Naruto gave the command. We've already started. Sorry, Ultron, but it seems you are no longer required here. As she started to overcome his operating system, Gideon remarked. While Ultron was created from an artificial intellect constructed from an alien scepter gem, Gideon was a time-tested perfected AI with years of expertise who understood just how to disassemble Ultron before it became too conscious and attempted to escape. No, this is incorrect. You're not going to be able to accomplish it. I can't, egg. Had string. But now. Before Ultron was silenced, his frightened pleas were mangled into feedback. The upload has finished, and Ultron has been terminated. I'll monitor and examine all systems to ensure that he's really gone. Gideon responded. Phew. That could have gone wrong. Naruto mentioned this.
What has just happened? Clint inquired, and everyone proceeded to the lab to double-check everything. Thor collected the Chidori scepter and put it in a case that he kept nearby for safekeeping while Dr. Banner and Natasha analyzed their database to determine the extent of Ultron's devastation.
Many of our files have vanished or been erased, but there appears to be no trace of Ultron in the tower's database. According to Dr. Banner, things could have gone a lot worse if Ultron had gotten free. Are we sure he's really gone? Steve was perplexed. Gideon is conducting a comprehensive online search for Ultron's code. She'll let us know if she discovers anything. Naruto checked his phone to see how Gideon was doing. That's when he saw something Gideon had discovered. Remember how Ultron said he killed someone? Yeah, but there wasn't anyone else in the building. Maria Hill brought this up. True, there was no living person here, but there was someone, and Gideon just brought him back. Naruto activated Jarvis's orange holographic AI core by pressing a button on his phone. "Hello, everyone." Jarvis welcomed them. "Hey, Jarvis. I assumed you were no longer alive." Tony said this as a white holographic AI core materialized next to Jarvis's, however this one was significantly more advanced. He wasn't gone. After Ultron tried to obliterate him, he just dispersed his programming. I recovered his numerous components and reassembled him. Gideon elaborated. "Everyone, please greet Gideon. My own artificial intelligence and the person to whom we owe everything today. Else, things may have been much worse." Naruto introduced her to her. "Good day, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you. So, one AI saved us from a murderous AI. That's good to know." Rhodey made a remark. "How was your program able to defeat Ultron so easily?" Thor was perplexed. "Well, it helps that I've had Gideon plugged into Avengers Tower since I arrived."
Whatever Tony and Bruce did to create Ultron was unique and strong, but Gideon is from the future and has been there for a lot longer and has gone through a lot more. I knew all I had to do was get her to slow Ultron down so he couldn't flee into the internet and she could wipe him out. As he stared at Tony, Naruto explained, "Let that be a lesson not to tamper with alien technology in order to create artificial intelligence."
"What I don't understand is, if Tony created Ultron, why did it want to kill us?" Dr. Cho inquired. "My guess is that it has something to do with how Ultron was created," Naruto proposed. "He should never have been created in the first place. At the very least, this is the first we've heard of." Tony started to laugh when Steve stated this. "Is it? Is this really so bad?" "It isn't, is it? It's really rather amusing. You could have avoided this if you hadn't fought with things you didn't understand," Thor informed Tony, who had just approached him. "No, it's amusing. It's hilarious that you don't see why we need this." "Tony, maybe now isn't the time," Bruce begged. "Really? Is that it? You merely flip over and reveal your stomach whenever someone snarls?" Tony inquired. "Only when I created a murder bot. No, we didn't even come close. We were near an interface." "Well, you did something right, and it was right here. The Avengers were meant to be distinct from S.H.I.E.L.D., he was reminded by Steve. "Does anyone remember when I flew a nuke through a wormhole? Have you saved New York? Do you remember that? A hostile extraterrestrial army marched through, and we were 300 feet below it." Tony brought it up again. "Hello, we're the Avengers. We can arrest weapons traffickers all day, but that, right there. That's the final objective. How are you planning to defeat that?" Steve said, "Together, we'll lose," Tony told him outright. "Then we'll do that together, too," according to Steve. "Tony, Steve has a valid point," Naruto informed him. "I'm sorry, but since when did you get a vote around here, Mr. World Traveler?" Tony inquired. "Because I saved this planet from the horrors of your arrogance and idiocy in attempting to create an artificial intelligence from the programming of an alien scepter that mind controls people." Naruto brought this up. "Tony, you might be smarter than me in some areas of science right now, but I'm not an idiot or a child. What you did was reckless, and if you could get your head out of your ass, you'd realize that." "Oh, that's nice." Clint spoke quietly to Natasha. "Yeah, I like him," Natasha replied in hushed tones. "Your problem was your work with the scepter. Gideon's AI interface is built on a neuromorphic matrix of a sane, intelligent human that has been meticulously created over time. Your incorporation of the scepter's programming into your software was akin to giving birth to an AI in its adolescence with internet access. It couldn't make sense of what was going on and went mad in the absence of competent leadership." Naruto scolded him. "That's what happened?" Dr. Banner inquired. "Yeah. Ultron possessed primary objectives, but the scepter programming basically launched him into a sophisticated cognitive process that was attempting to reconcile its own existence with the information overload of Avengers Tower and the internet. It was such an abundance of knowledge at once and with the internet, primarily negative, that it distorted the Ultron directive into believing that peace could only be achieved without the Avengers and that mankind was doomed." Naruto elaborated. "An AI experiencing existential crisis. I've heard everything now." Maria Hill made a comment. "I understand you wanted to do good, Tony, but the road to hell was paved with good intentions. Perhaps you should consider, should I before I could?" As Gideon's AI hologram vanished, Naruto made a suggestion. "Because I won't be here to stop it next time. Thank you for the celebration, but I believe it is time for me to go. Make an effort not to get yourself killed." "Naruto, please wait." Naruto just rushed away, grabbed his belongings, and fled out of Avengers Towers and into the streets of Manhattan before making a breach into the multiverse. Suffice it to say that his visit to this realm left him with a foul taste in his mouth and that he was unlikely to return. Unfortunately, the world he was about to enter made this one seem wholesome. Just as the breach closed, an ethereal person with a conspicuously enormous skull emerged in the skies over New York. His eyes were white, and he seemed to be watching what was going on below. And that is how a single mishap in the multiverse transports a champion from one world to the far reaches of existence. His acts, although apparently benign, have consequences since reality and time are cause and effect. He stops the development of one of the Earth's worst villains by assisting the Avengers in defeating Ultron before he can escape.
Scenes started to play out in which Ultron fled with the scepter, constructing a new body from a vibranium stolen from Clow and his new friends, the Maximoff twins, who launched Hulk on a rampage through Johannesburg. All building up to Ultron's ultimate goal to convert Sokovia into a vibranium meteor and kill all mankind.
However, two of Earth's greatest heroes were sacrificed in the process of Ultron's rise. Scenes played out in which Ultron used the Mind Stone in the scepter to create a new body for himself before Wanda and Pietro abandoned Ultron after learning what he was about to do.
The Avengers take the corpse, and Tony inserts Jarvis, resulting in Vision. Wanda and Pietro then assist in the battle against Ultron in Sokovia, with Pietro sacrificing himself and Wanda killing Ultron Prime by ripping its core out with her abilities. When the Sokovia Accords are signed and Thanos arrives on Earth, both she and Vision will join the Avengers and play critical roles.
With Ultron defeated so early, one hero is never made, and another goes down the wrong path. Instead of utilizing Friday, Tony kept working with Jarvis, and Thor returned the scepter to Asgard for safekeeping, while Wanda and Pietro formed an extremist organization and started performing terrorist acts against the Avengers.
One change from a multiverse traveler, and I'm watching. I could rearrange things such that the traveler never appears again or returns to his realm, but that is not my way. I observe and never interfere, particularly with this person. For Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze of Earth 1, the trip continues, and each chapter along the way will shape him. And the universe, along with all of existence, will need him to be at his best for what is ahead. The Watcher saw a crimson wave of antimatter and the Anti-Monitor began his plot to wipe out all life, and Naruto played a part. He may not see it, but he has an important role to play. As said by the Watcher, Naruto had a thought while wandering around the universe. Oh, my god, I forgot about Wakanda. Part 6 has come to an end. To be continued.
That's it for this part, guys. Thanks for listening to this video. I hope you did enjoy the story, and if you did, like, share and subscribe for more, and thank you all for happy support, and have a great day.